Worcester Bosch junior boiler, greenstar. We've come here for just an inspection. On arrival, the heating's on. We've just turned it off. We noticed the pressure is low on the boiler. As your heating is on, your pressure will increase as the water heats up in temperature. So if this boiler is already warm and we're already below one bar of pressure, we know this system needs some attention. So rather than just top the system up, we're just going to check the expansion pressure first, and we'll run you through how to check that and how to recharge the expansion as well. So first of all, make sure there's no demand for heating or hot water. Isolate the flow and return to the boiler. We've already done these. Let's do that one there. So that's the flow and return isolated. Now drop the control panel on the front of the boiler, just with a single screw there. Connect your hose pipe to the drain point. It's not the easiest thing to do one-handed. Hose into a suitable bucket or sink or drain point and open the drain off. Drain off's open. As you can see, that's draining the boiler, and we're keeping the water in the rest of the system because we've got the flow and return closed. So we're going to wait for that to finish draining. There we go. Now we need to make access to the expansion vessel, which is on the back of the boiler on this particular model. Remove the cap from the Schrader valve. There we are, you can see it's just a valve, and connect a suitable pressurisation pump. And now we're going to connect a pressurisation pump to the valve. Usually get a good idea if there's any air in it. Just when you connect it, you'll hear it discharge a bit of air. As we can see, as you can hear, nothing came out of that. And we've got zero pressure in there. So we're going to inflate this to 1 bar pressure. As we inflate it, we want to observe the end of the hose pipe and make sure it's pushing water out of there and we hear it coming through. If we don't hear water pushing out of there and it inflates rather quick, that would suggest that there's a blockage in between the expansion vessel and the manifold, which on this particular bullet is that braided hose. Just at the back there, you can just about make it out. So we're going to inflate this to 1 bar and keep an eye on that hose. So we've recharged the expansion. We're just going to check that that Schrader valve is satisfactory. So we're going to spray a little leak detection fluid on it and just check it, see if it bubbles at all, which is easier said than done. I'm going to swap hands. There we go, finally managed to get it on. As you can see, there's no bubbles coming from that, so that's satisfactory. A lot of jobs we go to for expansion vessel problems have already been diagnosed by engineers previous to us that have diagnosed it as a faulty expansion. We go to a lot of expansions and they're actually satisfactory. People don't know how to test them properly. You'll hear a lot of people say, press something into the core of the Schrader, if any water comes out it's faulty. Yes, that can be the case sometimes, but a lot of the time it's just condensation on the negative side of the diaphragm because it's been under pressure for so long, and that can be removed from the expansion vessel and the expansion checked and found to be satisfactory. So we will cover that in one of our other videos, and stay tuned. So we've recharged the expansion, we've removed the hose pipe from the drain point and closed that. We've just put the control panel back up. We're just going to open the isolation valves back up for flow and return. There we go, that one's open. And we're now going to recharge the system, putting a bar of pressure back in with the filling loop. We open that one. There we go. Right, we're now going to run the heat in and we're going to monitor this pressure gauge to make sure it stays in the green as the temperature rises, and we're also going to monitor the pressure release valve pipe which discharges outside to see if that's leaking any water at all. So we've got the boiler lid flat out in service mode at the minute. I'm just observing that pressure gauge there, make sure it doesn't rise up too much. We're also setting the high and low CO2. We just found that was massively high. CO2 was just set to 11.2, which should be set to 9.8, so we're almost there. We'll check that again in low fan speed, and that should be set to about 9.2% CO2. There we go, 9.8. There we go, there's the pressure release valve come from the boiler. As you can see, there's no dripping out of that, so that's a good sign for us. That means potentially this boiler's not going to be losing pressure again.